Hello and welcome back to the Food and Wellness Center fundraiser finale. I see Bengal Sebastian enjoying his morning here. Welcome everybody. I see Kendra Ditto's watching. She's ripe and ready for our second installment of this fun day today. Starting to see some other folks file in here. Debbie K. Hey Debbie. Hey Jasmine Walker, thanks for joining us. Barbara Dorrit saying so adorable. Mr. Sebastian is a cute little fella, isn't he? Welcome back, Maria Vane. I'm going to accumulate our awesome TWS followers and supporters while we have Mr. Sebastian as our backdrop. And we're actually going to turn right around and go over to caretaker Rio, who is going to be feeding Caracal Aurora. But first, obviously with food, kind of diet and meds, supplements kind of being the really kind of headlining, piece of this Food and Wellness Center fundraiser. We're going to talk about Miss Aurora's diet, some of her medications, and I'm going to expand on that from what we hear on Rio, and we're going to talk just kind of all things food and wellness. So hope everybody's doing well. Glad to have you back. Thank you, Laura Reed, for tagging Lauren Elizabeth Lynn. There goes Belinda Dissinger, tagging Bree and Kathy. Hey, Faith Warner, glad to have you back as well. I'm going to be bringing things over to Rio, everyone. And before I do that, happy to have you with us. You're tuned in live here to the Wildcat Sanctuary. Today is the Food and Wellness Center fundraising finale. And we are doing all things food and wellness today, celebrating by starting out with in our prep room, seeing our food being prepped out for our rescued residents, and now it is time to feed some of those rescued residents. So we're going to go check in with Miss Rio right behind me. Hello, Rio, and hello, Anna. Anna's one of our new caretaking managers here. Rio, you are the star of the show today, and we saw you earlier. We saw you hunched over that table, prepping those meds, and so now we have, obviously, Aurora's bowl and prep. So
Is eating a ground diet of what we call Nebraska. It's just a bunch of ground meat. She has what we call pancreatic insufficiency, and having a ground diet really helps her with digesting her food because she's not really able to digest it very well on her own. So having a ground diet really helps her out.
Awesome. And so that's every single day you're right there prepping Aurora's food and putting in her med pieces. That's every single day that happens.
Every single day. And she is one of our cats that is actually on meds 3 times a day as well. So I was prepping some of her meds this morning too, but she's actually going to be getting fed 3 times today.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, marvelous. Well, Rio, I think we're ready. We're going to follow you on down. I'm going to do a little narrating over Rio. And so first we're going to be feeding Caracal Aurora, and then we're going to be coming over to Bosco, Phoenix, Nunda, and Lizzy's group to feed them. And traditionally, you guys see us use our lockouts. For Aurora, we're going to just be doing the tongue feeding right through our habitat wall, but we will be using the lockouts for the Serval group that I mentioned. So I'll be able to talk about that procedure and how our lockouts are awesome tools to helping our cats be prepared in emergency situations. So as you can see, here's caretaker Rio approaching Aurora's free-roaming habitat. A couple clicks of the tongs, a couple taps on the buckets, and I'm going to lower my voice too, because we know that Aurora can be the patented TWS diva, and we love her so. I'm also going to kneel down as well. Hey, Kathy Sutton, thanks for joining us. Faith Warner's excited to see Aurora. Lauren Elizabeth Lynn says, driving. Well, be careful now. Honey D saying, Aurora is blessed to be at Sanctuary. And we couldn't agree more with that, Honey D, especially knowing the fact that Aurora was privately owned and kept as a pet and didn't even have outdoor access before coming to her home here at the Wildcat Sanctuary.
She's hiding up in her den, so I'm going to see if I can get her to come out.
No problem at all. And so Rio, we're also getting to experience some of the diligence that our caretakers exhibit. We know Aurora to be a little bit on the shyer side and selective about when she doesn't want to be seen. So Rio saw her up in her little den box up near her room, so it looks like she's going up there. to see if Miss Aurora will come down to us. And this is the serval group we'll be seeing in just a second. That looks like Mr. Phoenix there enjoying himself in the grass. And as a matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I wasn't able to talk about it during my live earlier this morning. We'll hang out with you, Mr. Phoenix, until I see Rio again. Is that we had an e-newsletter come out this morning, and that e-newsletter is pumping up the food shoots. As a matter of fact, we are in a food shoot frenzy. Those food shoots have been a part of the Food and Wellness Center, a component of the Food and Wellness Center that we've been talking about over the past month here. And today is the day where we're hoping to knock out some of those food shoots. They're costing about $300 per shoot. And fortunately, with donations doubled and all of the people out there who are willing to come together and have their gifts create a larger gift like one of those food shoots, it is so much appreciated. Okay. So here's Caracal Aurora, and one thing that Rio does as well is that she does have her med piece in that meal there. So Rio's sure that she's taking that med piece first and administering it to Miss Aurora. And like I said, typically you guys will see us use the lockouts for our more medium-sized cats like this. We'll be seeing that in just a moment with the next door neighboring serval group. And talking about those food shoots and how appreciative we are of your gifts. Yeah, that was pretty easy. And a couple hisses of thanks to caretaker Rio. Yeah. And Rio, I'll hang out with Aurora for just one moment, and I could maybe meet you over there with that group once you've started to get them all situated. Okay. Because Aurora always loves kind of sashaying away once she's had her meal. Most likely it's time to do some grooming and get those paws prim and proper for the rest of her day. And typically that happens right under where she's going right now, in the cool, calm, and comforted shade of her platform. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hope everybody's enjoying themselves today. I'm going to just try to catch Aurora one more time. It is the Food and Wellness Center fundraising. Kicked it off early with the prep room shift. We are in for our second installment of the day. We're feeding Caracal Aurora. We're going to go and catch up with Rio, who's going to be feeding the cats. That'd be Lizzy, Bosco, Phoenix, and Nunda. And now that I come around here to Miss Aurora, I do see that you're way in the shade, and I might not be able to see you very well. Glad you're enjoying yourself, Miss Aurora, and I'm glad that we could see that kind of full circle. Her enjoying herself in her den box. She's willing to come out and take her food and enjoy her meds, and now it's time to get a nice shady spot and do some grooming. All right. Looking through a few more comments. Hope everybody's doing well out there. I'm going to pick up my sign and bring it with me. And I surely would like to know who has given a gift of $100 or more. Better yet, if you've given a gift of $100 or more, have you received your Key2 paw print and thank you card? Because if for some reason you've been living under a rock during this exciting time during our Food and Wellness Center fundraiser, a gift of $100 is going to score you a Key2 paw print and thank you card, which is super, super stellar. And we know how much you guys enjoy those little TWS. A win-win. We're able to take something home for yourself. That's pretty special. All right, so here we come on to Phoenix, Bosco, Lizzy, and Nunda's group. And I'm going to kind of hang out right here because Phoenix can be a little sensitive about his lockout sometimes. And our lockouts are kind of exactly what you see. An area where we're able to isolate a single cat and able to administer their diet, as well as give observations. You can see Rio here. She's able to look closely at little Diva, Scarlet, and Zambuca. She's able to see what side of the mouth that they're eating on. She's even able to see if there was a part of their diet that they discarded and didn't want. Like if maybe they ate more of the beef as opposed to the chicken, or maybe Bosco ate more liver as opposed to beef or chicken. These are all little things that the caretakers are taking into consideration when we're using our lockouts like this. And also too, in effect, that these cats have been, kind of are benefiting from operant conditioning in a way, where Bosco, who gets very excited about food time, Bosco knows that if he comes into this space, that everything's totally fine, and it's a neutral space for him. So if there was ever an emergency situation at TWS where we needed to evacuate the sanctuary grounds, well, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cats, and you can kind of map this across all of our medium-sized cats here at TWS, who are all prepared on and would be able to shift into a crate if needed. So we're talking diet. I see Zambuca. He's got a nice big chicken piece. Very impressive, Scarlet. She scarfed hers down. And you can see little Diva coming up in the rear and really daintily enjoying her piece. And it's always worth reminding everyone when we do feature our cats in their lockouts like this is not where our cats live. You guys know that we prioritize large free roaming spaces with natural options for our cats. This is just temporary, just during feeding time, and then the cats are obviously then shifted back into their free roaming habitat for them to enjoy their day. And Rio's just kind of going back and forth and inspecting everybody and making sure everybody's doing their meal and kind of taking note of some of the things I was talking about, making her observations. And I'm way behind on the comments. A Serval buffet. You're right about that, Daniel. I was zoomed in a little bit there. This is absolutely amazing to watch, says Christine. I'm grateful to be able to share this time with you all. Zambuca, Diva, and Scarlet. Well, that's super special, and we appreciate that comment, Christine. Ooh, Pat K saying, I'm still waiting for Kitu's package. Hopes it comes soon. Well, Pat, first of all, thank you for that $100 gift. That is very, very much appreciated. And Kitu is very much so happy to lend you his paw print as a special thank you. So like I said, Zambuca, I see Scarlet here, and little Diva. And whenever we feature some of our rescued Serval residents on live posts, it's always worth acknowledging the fact, with kind of the exception of a few minor details, just about every single one of our Serval rescues has just about the same story, in that they're coming from private ownership. And most definitely these cats being the cats that they are, and with what Mother Nature has endowed them. You can see those large ears. Oftentimes Servals are referred to as the cat of spare parts. So you can see those very thin deer-like legs as well. And then obviously that cheetah coat. But back to those ears, you can imagine having a Serval in a home environment. It's going to be incredibly sensitive to anything like a loud TV, a vacuum cleaner, any type of equipment turning on in the home. And unfortunately, oftentimes it's these cats who are going to be injuring themselves when they have that fight or flight response. Which is why we here, yeah, Mr. Phoenix, nice job. So that's Phoenix here, Nunda, and that would be Miss Lizzy, and then Bosco on the far. And so, as you kind of see, yeah, there you go, Miss Nunda. That's a tasty piece of chicken. A couple licks. Very dainty, Miss Nunda. Happy to have you along, everyone. It is a beautiful Tuesday here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. We are in the throes of our Food and Wellness Center fundraising climax today. Look at Mr. Serval Phoenix sitting back, full belly of delicious food that was prepped for him this morning, and obviously sitting back and benefiting from the support that you all afford every single one of our rescues here at TWS. And today is one of those special days where you know I kind of beat the drum all day long, but it's giving me a time to really just emphasize how crucial your support is to the cats and how much it does for them. And days like this are really special for me, and I'm just so glad that we have so many of you along who are willing to listen and then obviously learn and take part in our mission here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Now, is this very typical of Nunda, Rio? She's kind of takes her time with her meal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She usually takes a little bit longer to eat, and but sometimes she'll kind of lose interest through it. So just kind of showing her that there are still some pieces on the ground there for her.
That's Rio just mentioning that Nunda does like to take her time during feeding, and Rio just kind of reminding her that she's got a few extra pieces if she's interested in finishing them. I'm looking behind me at this group. There's little Diva licking her chops, Scarlet, and Mr. Zambuca. They said, yeah, we're all done, and we'll even take some more. They said, yeah, I could eat as much as a lion, I say. Hey, Tanya Toner, thank you for sharing this post. Very much appreciated. And darn it, Facebook still doesn't have our convenient donate button right on these posts. But regardless, there's still lots of ways for you guys to give during this campaign. And of course, just calling us at 320-245-6871. Hey, Miss Nunda, you always get chatty. And obviously, you can always snail mail and mail a check and have it dated to, that would be the Wildcat Sanctuary at P.O. Box 314, Sandstone, Minnesota, 55072. And you can always go to wildcatsanctuary.org and give a gift there. And maybe not on this post, but at the top of our Facebook page, we have a button that says donate that will bring you to our donation page. So still tons of ways to get involved and still plenty of time to get involved. Like I said, today is the food shoot frenzy. And obviously there's still time to partake and claiming one of those Key 2 paw prints for yourself as well. And so one thing that I'll observe is as Rio, who's obviously given Zambuca access to his yard, sometimes he'll want to hang out and just give Rio the doe eyes and maybe just beg for a couple more pieces of food. But eventually they do make their way out. And now for some dessert grass, says Carrie. And here's Bosco taking his time. And I think another thing that's kind of a cool takeaway as well is the time commitment for feeding these cats. Is that, Rio's been here and has been monitoring all 4 of these cats. Rio is the zone lead for zone 2, correct? 3. I'm always getting those switched around. For zone 3. So Rio's in charge of small cat track. She's in charge of quarantine, and she's in charge of wild woodlands. And Pride Prairie. Yeah. So it really just gives you some perspective for kind of time management and how patient our caretakers are, as well as how efficient they are. And speaking of efficiency, Mr. Bosco, that's one thing they're going to ramp way up when we're able to start transforming that new prep room into the wellness center, or the food and wellness center. Well, thank you so much, Rio. I really, really do appreciate it. I'm going to hang out with the cat so much, and lots of kudos for you in the comments, and lots of thanks for the awesome work that you do here.
Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate that.
Well, back to it, Rio. We're actually going to be seeing you later today because Tarek, Polina, and Dash are going to be featured on a live post, which are also in your zone. Well, perfect. Well, back to it, Rio, but thank you so much again.
Yeah, of course.
Mr. Bosco, we'll hang out for just a little bit longer. And oftentimes we are being asked, who is our oldest cat? Well, I am looking at our most senior resident, Serval Bosco. And of course, his exact age is slipping my mind. I think it is 23, Mr. Bosco, if I'm not mistaken. So I look at a geriatric cat like Mr. Bosco, and I know that he benefits from things like our comfort care program, as well as having every little thing kind of tailored to what Bosco needs as he ages and moves on into kind of the golden years of his life. I'm just going to go through a few more comments here. Yvette saying, Rio, I'm so impressed. I am impressed every single day by our caretaking staff. Yvette. Christine, Bosco is a young 23. Thank you for catching that. Rio is a rock star, says Kelly Anderson. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication to the cats. I love seeing that. What do you think, Mr. Bosco? Lots of love for Mr. Bosco. Tanya Toner asking, how is the prep room coming along? Well, Tammy is going to be showing you a little bit of kind of the beginning stages of the construction. They've basically kind of gutted the back room, which used to be the old hospital, which is now going to be our new enrichment staging area. Just catching up on a few more comments here to make sure I'm not missing anybody. I know I wanted people to sound off if they had either claimed a Key 2 paw print or had already received theirs because of a gift of $100 or more. Always like giving my shout outs when I can. Maria P saying, hi, I'm late. Glad to have you though, Maria. And we'll be going live. Tammy's next up on deck, and she'll be going live with Teresa. I was saying Joy earlier, but that was my mistake. Hey, Stephanie Metcalf, thank you for joining us. Glad to have you with us. It looks like I'm just about caught up, Mr. Bosco. That looks like I'm just about caught up. I think I might see the beginning stages of a serval cuddle puddle over here. Nunda sitting down and starting her grooming. Bosco might be joining here. Hey, look at that. And 2,000 stars on this live post. Thank you for those who've given stars. And like I said, we are hoping to raise, that'd be $300 for some of those food shoots today. And darn it, Facebook, I wish we had that donate button right here on our post. But surely you can go right to our website at wildcatsanctuary.org, giving us a call at 320-245-6871, and adding a note saying, I want to participate in the food shoot frenzy. Any gift that's going to help cover one of those $300 food shoots is going to be very, very much appreciated. And looking forward to reaching our goal. That's one of the special things about our supporters here is that we were using the sky's the limit for our miracle match with your support. And that phrase just rings true year round for us here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, and we're so fortunate to have you. So as I kind of slowly zoom out on bath time for Nunda, I want to thank you all for joining in on the second installment today. Rio did an awesome job. We've kind of been really seeing like a farm to table type of thing happening here. We got to see Rio prepping the food. Now we've been seeing Rio feeding the food. So very kind of fun, full circle day that's kind of encompassing all of these important aspects of the Food and Wellness Center fundraiser. Nunda's like, it was a little too sunny on that spot. I'm going to go find some shade over here. Well, you do that, pretty girl. Well, thank you so much again, everyone. And don't go far. Don't go far. Tammy's up next for our next installment of our fun little crescendo today. And thank you guys all so much again for tuning in. And we'll see you soon.